So good evening, everybody. You're welcome to the Donny Chaingang. Welcome to another new week on planet Earth. Yes, again, we are heading out on the Chaingang with all of our usual suspects already starting to line up. Actually, you can just see them just down there, headed up by our yellow beacon. Russ Downing, a former multi-time international champion, and of course, infamous for being the bear that keeps all of the young cubs under control on the Chaingang. Now, it's been a busy week. We had a cracking weekend for a lot of people. Obviously, a pretty sad day universally around the globe. But yesterday, that I know plenty of people tuned in whilst they were riding and jumping on the turbo as well. We're back out and heading out once again, though, into Watopia. My name's Matt Payne. I'm bringing you all of the action, and we're going to be catching up with our riders very shortly indeed. Got to say a massive thank you before we go much further, though, to the people who keep the DCG gang. And those are the supporters who basically pay for the whole lot to operate, full stop, up there on the top of your screen. So just up there, you can see 1080, OTE, a Gritty, Continental, Velaskin Halo, and of course, Nonnas. They are the guys who look after the members of the DCG gang, and the DCG gang is the way that we basically keep all the wheels turning, the cogs moving around, and the machinery behind the scenes operating and lubricated. So basically, how it works is if you join and donate to the DCG for a month or for a year, we give you free membership of the gang, and what that basically means is that we then can get you in to all of those discounts. So, for example, 25% discount off the whole of September on the OTE month, which is this month in September. We're going to have lots of different months. Got Halo coming up in October, and so on, all the way through until we get into the end of April. And of course, that means if you're a member of the DCG gang, great discounts. You get not only your money back in terms of discounts and advantage in terms of what you're buying, in terms of product, but also the inside tracks. You get all of the links first. You can join the whole week's worth at the start of the week. You get all of the route info. You know where we're stopping, starting, how long the route is, how long the actual racing part of the route is as well. Links to what we've done before. So a massive thank you to the guys up there who encourage our members to join. Now, let's show you where we're heading. We are going on to Fuego Flats. This is in Watopia, the original world that you'll have seen if you've been riding on here, as I know, and a number of other riders been around pretty much since it came into being. And this one of the later expansions into Fuego Flats and into the Tempest Fugit area. Now, Tempest Fugit is a 55k course that we use. We have a leading of 2.4k, 3 laps of the circuit, and we finish at 54.2. There's about 800 metres of warm down to the blue banner and a huge amount of elevation, a whole 48 metres, basically nothing. So let's show you where we're headed now. Our yellow beacon is Russ, as we've said, and that's a picture of him looking slightly younger and faster in his in his national champs jersey there, but Russ already up on the screen. So essentially, we go in on the orange warm-up, the red warm-up at the top. We go round the upper loop, and then we go through the flats for the first time, and that means we then started the circuit, probably drop down, do the southerly loop, come up, do the northerly loop, and come back to the rock arch. So that's one lap. We do that 3 times. So basically, the warm-up runs you from the red, follow the little blue dot, around the loop, and in through the start line, down the course, around the southern loop, which is basically down in the Vegas lookalike, and then head back north, come back in and round the northern loop before we run back down to the finish. So you can see going under the arch, round the loop, and then in. That is one lap. We do that 3 times. That's 54.2k. Now, Russ will be controlling things overall in the Chaingang. The aim of this is that everybody stays with yellow. The ramped warm-up will steadily kick in. The man who's looking after everybody at the back, and the man who is our Doncaster true Donny Chaingang rider here, our red beacon, is Carl Johnson. Now, Carl, a regular rider, one of the great bus drivers of the red bus here on the Chaingang, and great to have Carl back on the gang, and being our red beacon at the back, and a bit like we've seen the yellow chevron up above Russ, the red beacon just joining us at the back of that field at the moment. So the riders jumping on, everybody joining in, and looks like everybody making their way on to the course at the moment. And if we take a little bit of a look just over there, you can just see that red and yellow chevron up above the heads of Carl and Russ, respectively. So just under 5 minutes to roll. Let's show you where we're heading in terms of profile. Now, gotta say, the information from VeloView is absolutely key on 99.9% of chain gangs. Today, maybe not so much, because that is the profile. It's like the thinnest ribbon you've ever seen. This is like cutting bargains galore entry ribbon versus cutting a Marks and Spencer's entry ribbon into the opening of a shop, because it's pretty thin. And the profile, let's put it up for you. As you can see, there are only 2 key points really where there is any kind of gradient rise whatsoever. One is at the Oasis, that's on the far right hand side of the screen. The other is just before we go around the southerly turn, or just on the way back out again. But when I say a gradient, the average underpowered steam train could get up there. In fact, probably your little Hornby Loco could pull the average human up the gradient. It is that low. Nothing to write home about. This is definitely in contrast with the profile for Thursday. You do know, if you're going on Thursday, you've got something a little bit bigger heading in your direction. So make sure that you jump on. Just as importantly, of course, it's all about the stats as well. So, of course, we can see where those kilometre markers are. And as you can see, from the start, dropping down around the southern loop, up, and then around that northerly loop. So that's the profile. Translate that back into our map view. And you can see essentially that right-hand side, it's once we start going in and out of the Oasis that you need to have everything either deposited if it's a anvil, or used up if it's a feather, because neither will help you in the sprints at all. And speaking of the icons that we've got, remember, it pays to know what they all do. The power-ups that are used, that appear in the little circle, they are key, because they will let you know what you've got, what you can use. So whether it's an aero advantage in the aero helmet, whether it's a truck so you can get extra draft, whether it's an anvil because you go downhill faster, or whether it's because you got something really, really, really rubbish, like you got a plus, or a big plus, or a little plus. All they do is get you more points and more drops to get you towards being up to the next level. Levels have increased. You now actually go up to level 60 instead of level 50, and there's a whole host of other improvements coming from Zwift. Bear in mind those updates will come in, and they take a little while before they're going to kick in. It is key that you remember, guys, make sure you get those updates done nice and early. If you want to know what they're all doing, get onto ZwiftInsider.com. Great information there, absolutely invaluable, not just for me as a commentator and when we're talking about the racing, but also for you as a rider, so make sure you jump on to that. So our riders now are starting to come in thick and fast. We're just going to take a jump in, I think, to the grid, and let's take a little bit of a better look at what they're up to as the clock ticks on. And if we get our drone up and flying, we'll have a little bit of drone practice early on. Let's get it up in the air and get him zooming out over the top. You can see that pack really has filled in very, very quickly indeed. And all lined up, a real mix. Because we've got Tom Crapper back in and joining us as well. Mick Clark in here. Miss Cookie jumping on as well. Our Red Beacon is in the house, and good to see that we've got Carl Johnson in with us once again. Carl, one of our regular riders. We're going to jump across to see if we can see Carl in here. So Carl in the blue there of the La Squadra, and if we zoom out, you can see that chevron just up above his head there, so we can come right in on Carl. So this is the man that you're looking to sweep you up, riding on that Pinarello Dogma and on the disc and a deep front wheel, really the only option on the way through. So let's have a look. We've got Carl in there, tucked in nicely in the group. Our drone just dropping in behind our riders as we get into the last 30 seconds to go. So our riders are lined up and ready. It's not going to be long before we hit that kickoff from the start. So time to start winding it up. Our riders now need to know that they're going to be heading in towards that fast kick off from the line. Key to this start is getting a good kick away. Who is going to do that? Who is going to be super fast? Who's going to get this right? Who's going to get this wrong? So away we go. Our riders are up and riding. Time for us to jump in with the DCG gang. So here we go. Our riders up and rolling. And as you can see, the gang are out and in full force at the moment. We are going to take a little bit of a jump across towards a few of our riders. We're going to try and get in with Russ to kick off. We don't always follow Russ actually out of the gates. He's very handy to follow out the gates because he's got a great big beaker stuck on his head, but he's usually reasonably quick out. Good to see Mr. Crease going out on the hand cycle there. It does make it a lot easier. I've had a quick play on that. A brilliant, brilliant thing, and great to see the inclusion of those riders. Now, this is where the riders who may be getting a later start are on the way. We do have a late start. Oh, looks like my mic has jumped across to the left-hand channel. Let's see if we can do a very quick fix for you here today. We can very quickly turn it onto a mono signal, just what you always wanted me to do. Sit tight, as the saying goes. Now it should be coming at you in both ears. Let's see if you're getting it in both ears. We'll soon see who is going to get that on the way through. So I'm hoping that now we are in stereo, basically, but coming out in both ears rather than just in a left-hand ear. That should be the case. We'll see whether that works. It is. Look at that. That makes a nice change. It actually did. We spent a long time getting rid of the echo, and then ended up resetting it. It's coming into one ear rather than the other. There was a reason for that, actually, to be fair, but it's not transpired today. So here we go. Looks like Mr. Saxton on his way, Ollie on his way towards Carl, Liam Callaway just there. Saxton on his way. He's going to be pretty quick up here. The gang will take a little while to get themselves into gear here today. So our riders out and rolling here on the Donny Chaingang. And it's the middle of September. It is September the 20th, and lots of our riders having to work quite hard already just to stay in with the group. Remember, the aim here is to stay around yellow. So stay around that yellow beacon. That's the plan, Stan. If you can do that, then life is good for everybody. That's what we're aiming for, one way or another. So don't forget, you can get in to see that everybody can jump on board. So don't forget, you can jump on Facebook, you can jump on YouTube, so on the Donny Chaingang Facebook pages, on the Downey Cycling or the Full Speed Events Facebook pages. Don't forget, of course, you can catch up with us all over the place. Emma and myself likely to be here on Thursday. Vicious rumour that we're going to have a guest rider actually in situ at the Full Speed Events studios as well, in Studio 2. As Emma's going to be joining me on the microphone, I think, next on Thursday for the Volcano course, which is what's coming up on Thursday. Don't forget, of course, that we also will have lots more rides coming up. Got a relatively quiet Saturday. This Saturday, basically heading down to London for the Urban Hill Climb. So the aim is to head down there. And guys, make sure, of course, that if you are coming down to see us, come down and say hi. I'm going to be down there with Freya. Going to be just keeping an eye on everything that goes on down there to make sure that I get all the information that I need. So going to be looking forward to that. So we've got Chaingang today, Chaingang on Thursday, Saturday down at the Urban Hill Climb, Sunday we're streaming 2 esports bike events. You have to go onto my personal Facebook page or onto the Full Speed Events social media feeds to get the details of those. We wouldn't say them on here, I'm afraid. And of course, we are going to be really busy. We've got lots of XCE coming up, and in fact, a week on Saturday, we've got the World Championship XCE as well. So through the line we go for the very first time. So this is the start of the course proper, 3 full laps. And that was the approach done on the way through. Let's get the helicopter up on to the top. And certainly at the moment, looks like pretty much everybody is in the chat board, nice and busy, and basically everybody out and away from the start line. And we will have a little bit of a roll through our riders in a minute. We're just in with, of course, our red beacon at the moment, but we're going to take a little bit of a roll in and through. Got quite a lot of riders in today, and one rider we really did want to say welcome back to the Donny Chaingang. It is the one and only Sammy Stewart. Sammy, of course, having an exceptional road season. And it's amazing to see riders on the Chaingang doing well, whether it's Jess Learmonth getting the Olympic gold medal, whether it's Sammy going for those breakaways in the Tour Series and really dominated a lot of the crits. Great to see her in action and meet up with her over the summer on the crits. And good to have Sammy back on the Chaingang. Congratulations from everybody from the Donny Chaingang. We're going to take a little bit of a run through. You can see Eddie Douglas is in here, and just alongside him, a man who is practicing what he preaches. It is the one and only Shelley Charles. Good to have Shelley on board. Shelley, of course, the main man at Continental, and Continental, of course, are one of our DCG gang sponsors. And you can just see Shelley equipped in that very nice Continental kit as well. So great to see Shelley on there. The tyres, the best thing since sliced bread, it has to be said. So good to see that we've got Shelley back on board and on the gang and riding. Now, another of our sponsors are in here in the shape of Neil from Gritty. Caroline not on the Chaingang yet. Caroline's got a very busy weekend coming up, as has Neil, for two very different reasons. So let's have a little look. We've got Neil here. So Neil from Gritty, and also my co-host on the Crosscast, has the 3 peaks. This is the last Chaingang prior to riding the 3 peaks for Neil. So Neil going to be heading off to the 3 peaks. So good luck, mate. I hope you have a good one. So last Chaingang, no doubt be taking it pretty easy as he does the roll in. Before that, on the Saturday, though, Caroline is riding the National Gravel Championship over at the King's Cup down in Thetford Forest. So you've got Thetford Forest on the Saturday for them, and then up to the 3 peaks. So good luck, Neil, for the 3 peaks. Good luck, Caroline, as well. Another of our DCG gang sponsors. And you can see just at the bottom of your screens, the guys who basically look after all of those riders. A massive thank you to them. Without them, we can't reward the people. We can't say thank you to all those people who look after the riders on the DCG gang. And it is a great reason to jump in and join the gang. Now, here we go. The riders up just in with Jones at the moment. And looks to me like a red bus forming nice and early. I think the gang were looking forward to that. Good to see we've got Emma Lysick in here. Emma, another of our regular riders, back on board again. So Emma jumping in. Interesting to watch people dumping things on the way through, like the anvils and so on. Now let's take a little bit of a further run through. And we've got Mick Clark. I've seen Beefy Colin from Cycleways kicking about somewhere on the way through. Steve Hilbert in here. Good to have Steve on here. Steve, good to have you back on board again, mate. Another of our members of the DCG gang, and great to have the support of Steve and Co. They're the guys who basically make the Chaingang happen. Without our members of the DCG gang, it won't happen. It just doesn't. We just can't do it. Now, let's have a go. Let's look through here. We are going to take a little bit of a check through. Our riders having a run down. Everyone's in here. Looks like Terminator T 2.0 back on board, and no surprises there. Hope Tracy's enjoying getting a fix of the DCG gang. And Tracy City, one of our super fast riders, and great to see her in action once again on the Chaingang. Paul Mullen in, looks like young Mr. Holwell on board, just having a run down here. And it's Andy Hawes. Andy, I hope you enjoyed your time in London. I know you've been busy as most of the events teams have been in London over the past few days. Andy, of course, the main man for routing on the Tour of Britain. And good to see that Andy is back with us once again, the La Squadra rider for the ambassador of Pinarello and UK. Audu, hey up, he's proper. Come on, lad. Did I teach you now with all those 4 o'clock in the morning liaisons and secret rendezvous in the dodgiest part of town together? All those standing on street corners and watching the rain come down together and wondering whether we were going to get everything done. I don't know. How do? Good to see Andy's back on board, and great to have him in. Another of our great riders on the Chaingang. Now we'll just take a little bit of rollback, 30 seconds or so, to the dynamic duo that is the bus is formed, and it has two of our key riders in here. We've got Carl Johnson on here. So here we go. Carl, of course, key man on the Chaingang today, and every day having that red beacon up above him, and great to see he's in here. And Miss Cookie. Now, Miss Cookie is one of the true characters of the Chaingang. Absolutely, totally enthusiastic supporter. She looks like that same hairstyle in real life, unless she's changed it recently. Not looking quite as scared as she did in the picture I saw of her in with a lad driving, which is always a scary moment when you get your children driving you around. Apparently my parents never recovered from it, apparently, so they tell me. The team in here are dynamic duo at the back, so the bus is up and rolling on the course. Let's take a little look a bit further up. So Keith Richardson, another of our regulars on the gang, a man who's been red beaconed plenty of times before. Just patrolling around the back of the group. Looks like a Raccoon and Tickers in at the back there. No, Tickers chatting away on the Facebook page earlier on. Mark Tickhill, another of our regular riders in the gang, and good to see he is back in once again. Another rider who knows the benefits of staying in the draft here. Absolutely key. Matt Winston, it is the Matt Winston with us. I'm still trying to find Matt. I have been hunting up and down for him. Harry Hudson here as well. We'll see whether Matt Winston, the Matt Winston, is with us. He's probably up somewhere near the front fire, Matt. I'm slowly trying to get there. Easier said than done when there's so many riders on the cheek. Failing miserably to spot him on the way through. Just get up above. Here we go, Matt Wilson. Hello again. Time to lose those 6 kilograms from sitting in the team car. I think this is what it is, Matt, isn't it? It's just about really, it's the way to get yourself up fast and up to speed as you go through, because the team sitting in the team cars have a hard life. I tell you, I've been in there, seen there, done it, and definitely got the kilos from it before now. Good to see that we've got him up there. Looks like Mark Chamberlain just keep the gang ticking along nicely up at the front here. And got Mike Salco back on board again. There's Mike. Going to be tucked in an Ineos jersey. Mike, of course, regular rider with Tom. And all of the gang out from Otley, from the Yorkshire neck of the woods, from the haunts of the Lawnswood Chaingang down to the Donny Chaingang for Mike. And you can just see the pace pretty quick here. Our riders are moving along quite nicely. So let's take a little bit of a run out on the screens. As you can just see top right hand side as we approach 13 minutes here. And 8 kilometres covered. You can just see that we're going to be heading in towards the Mini of Vegas lookalike as well. A LAX sort of airport sort of lookalike at the moment. So let's see how we go. Now, Matt Winston saying, he says, Phil West, somebody we all know pretty well, says apparently Phil is smashing it in the gym and we'll never get him on Zwift. Well, that has been said by many people before. Watch this space. Let's see if we can get on a mission to bombard Phil West with jump on the Chaingang. The thing is, he'd absolutely love it if he did it. He'd smash it all to pieces the moment that he got into go. He definitely would be the sort of rider who would turn himself inside out. I think more than one or two riders that can say he's one of those riders that just never said, no, not me, never. Just taking a little look. Jimmy Allen here. Interestingly, Jimmy not going for disc wheels at the moment, going for the lighter, easier to accelerate ride as we go in through the diner, in through the quietest diner in the world ever, the only diner in fact, gets great reviews apparently on Zwift for the food. Always empty though, which is never a good sign. Never eat anywhere where there's nobody else sitting eating, never a good thing. So let's have a little check here. Very good. Everybody rolling well. Who's on the hand cycle? I'm just trying to work it out, Tom. If somebody gives us a steer on there, we might be able to jump in to see who it is. So our helicopter's just up above the riders as they come in and through town. Just watching Rich Dobson just making his way in here. Good to see Rich on board the gang again. So welcome back, Rich. You hear the old neon strobing away as we come in and through town. And just starting to weave our way in around these twists and turns that make up town before we head in towards that southerly roundabout that basically takes us in and through. Interesting, we've seen a few aero power-ups near the back of the group as you go on the way through here. Going to take a little bit of a run towards the back of the group here because I think if you having fun. So we jump to the back. Oh, it's going to be Mr. Thorpe. There we go. Now, man to watch out for, already going for the full on disc wheels here. I'm really interested. We've got Mike Killingsworth. Apparently, it's Mike Killingsworth who's on the hand cycle at the moment. It's quite appropriate, really. So, just taking a look at the back of this group, I think nobody really struggling with the pace, other than Russ potentially at the moment. Craig, Harry, Kai, Host, Emma can more than handle themselves. Russ just having to squeeze back on with Craig Herring. He can't not pay attention, Russ. You know, it ain't easy. It's Donny Chaingang after all. The gang are pushing on. And I don't think it's silly mad at the front. We'll take a little run up to the front and look at some of the numbers. No, the bad news is the front of the pack is generally rolling around at about 2 to 2.2 watts per kilo. It's just the volume of riders again as we head up near to the... So it's Matt Crease who's in the trike, is it? Let's have a little look. Here we go. It's Matt Crease. Here we go. Let's take a little look. So Matt, this is one of riding one, and in one of the new things coming from Zwift on the latest update. You can see the hand trike in here. Part of making Zwift a little bit more inclusive. And in fact, there is a club for riders who have the use of a trike who are on a hand cycle, and that is absolutely key to bringing more and more people on board. So great to see that they've got the gang in here. They've got the inclusion of hand cycles. If you do ride on them, quick tip from the top, they don't off shift. I don't have the arms to be able to motor it like the guys do who are regularly on there. But if you ever have a go, do, because it really makes you appreciate just how tough it is. Now, we're just in with Miss Cookie and Co in the Red Beacon. They're already onto our turn, the group coming the opposite way. So it looks like Miss Cookie and Carl Johnson heading in one direction at the moment. Wayne Barr just stretching his legs out the back here. So it looks like Wayne just distanced a little bit here as he is just off the bat. I'm sure Wayne has more than enough pace and power to get back onto the group here. So going to be a long one tonight, says Gareth Mason. Gareth, it's always a long one on Donny Chaingang if you're having a hard time. Let's have a little look. So making the way down in and through, our riders looking good at the moment. The pack and pretty much all together, and you can just see heading back out of turnabout to hit the city limits. There you go, off from the nice grass verges and heading out into the distance. Here we go. So diving in with one man who it's always happy to see on the Chaingang. It is the one and only Colin Balcon away on holiday for the first week of the DCG. Nicely rested and going to be looking like at the moment he's got a little bit of power in those forearms at the moment. A bit Popeye-esque if you see the forearms on him, and looking like he's going to be motoring his way in and along. I was just looking for another rider who's been known to have decent-sized forearms. I'm going to see if we can get him with him on the way through. Can't grab him, so it's not going to happen here today. So we just keep rolling our way through the riders. So just interesting to watch the discussion between the riders about what they actually have rolling. So basically, if you swap in the pen, you can end up stuck on a machine. If you swap once you're on the ride, you also get stuck generally on the old machines, what everybody else sees, and that's kind of how it works. So that is pretty key as you head around. So quick reminder, guys, make sure if you are heading out that you have the right bike on. If in doubt, put it on before you join the event. It's very key to do that, and that's always actually been the case on the way through, that you can get stuck on the wrong bike. Always used to amuse me if we'd when you're Zwift racing, turn up with a bike like one of the big shopper bikes, the Faro bikes, you know, the big Dutch style, German style bikes, rock up to the start line on that, then change it to a time trial bike. You know you're on a time trial bike, you know that you're on the road bike or a climbing bike. Everybody else can see you on the wrong bike, and it absolutely plays havoc with everybody's heads. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Right, so as the gang are cracking on here, now got 100 on board, so that is the absolute limit. If you're at the front, you won't see the back won't see the front. Our late joiners taking us up to the ton once again. Good to have everybody on board. If you're a late joiner, welcome on board. More than welcome. We totally get not everybody's as lucky as Russ and I. Although, to be fair, if it wasn't for the DCG gang, we wouldn't be able to devote as much time to jumping on early, making sure everything's set and ready to roll as much as we do. So a big thank you to everybody on the DCG gang. So let's take a look up over the top as we start to come in towards the Oasis in the gorgeous little hidden away sea of tranquility tucked away through the tunnels. So here we go, up along, like I say, basically a sharp left, and it's a right, followed by a full 180 degree. So you can just see the rider coming down here and raining down. Nice of Paul Mallin. Paul, let us know how you're going to get the water bottle to somebody. Which of your collection are you sending out? Paul Mallin says the 100th rider gets a free water bottle. Well done. Cheers, buddy. Thank you very much, Paul. Great to see Paul supporting the rider who comes into the Chaingang. So brilliant to see. Thank you very much, buddy. Nice of Mr. Mallin there. There you go. The gent that's given away a water bottle. What a star. Thank you very much, bud. Don't know who the 100th person was. Russ going to have to try and work that one out. Good luck. Because I've no way of knowing who the 100th rider was. Jump on. Yeah, Paul, you're going to have to work that back. I'll let you go back through the footage. I think I might be washing my hair. Let's have a look. So Lee Allen tucked on at the back. Let's have a little look. Yeah, who's got the fewest kilometres? That is the way to do it, but at the moment I'm failing to find anybody who isn't on the bang on the same case pretty much. Difficult. Tricky. So Eddie Dench might be. No, Eddie's on the right numbers. He's got all the right numbers in all the right order. Jimmy Allen is just taking a little bit of a stroll back off the group here. You're right there, Jimmy. So Mr. Hudson on 4.3. That could well be the case. Anybody lower than 4.3? If you've got a distance lower than 4.3 on your screens, and we're just flicking through them now, let us know. Because Paul Mallin says apparently he's given away a water bottle to the 100th rider. So the 100th rider should be the person with the least distance on the screen. So if you've got less than 4.3, which is the estimation from the gang at the moment, let us know. So if you are lower, if you think you are the 100th rider, apparently Paul Mallin is sending you a water bottle. I don't know what kind of water bottle, but apparently it is. P. Scriven. I'm loving the fact that if we is Mr. Scriven our lowest rider, in which case Paul Mallin, you need to send him a water bottle. So my estimation, I think, and I am going quiet here for a reason, the rider that I think has the least that we've seen so far is Scriven. And I am still scrolling to try and find anybody with less. So Russ, I suspect our 100th rider is going to be Scriven. It is. He's got 4K on the clock at the moment. On our last update on here, nobody else is even close on our clock on here, with the exception of our full speed event Saboteur's gone nowhere. So here we go, Sammy heading off, and good to see. I'm loving the fact that Sammy's just going to jump off just to drop it to 99. That's only because Sammy's going to beat everybody. So yes, Mr. Scriven, you should be. You should have a water bottle coming, Mr. Scriven. You are the rider. 100. Everyone will be joining late. If you're that desperate for a blinking water bottle, I don't know. So I am desperately trying to jump on to the right riders. It's easier said than done. Here we go. This is the man with least miles, least kilometres, and it's pretty obvious to see exactly who he is. One of our regulars. There we go. So, Pete Scriven, this is your man. Least kilometres, just got on board, just before the cut-off. 100 rider on to the Chaingang today. So well done, buddy. Nice to have you on board. So there we go. Confirmed. I would confirm, at least everybody, with the fat cyclist, with Mr. Mason, that everybody on here is got it. Late because of work. Don't apologise for being late from work. Russ and I totally understand. We are very, very lucky. We are in the position that we are basically able to come in. So great to have you on board. There will always be a late join. There will always be the ability to jump in and ride, because the Chaingang was founded on being inclusive, on having the ability to get riders on board. This is what we want to see. People jumping on, enjoying themselves, having a joke, having a laugh, enjoying the riding, and that is absolutely key. So it is Pete Scriven who's jumped in on board. We're going to jump back out from Pete now. So it looks like this gang going at a steady enough pace that nobody being dropped yet out of the back of this pack. We're just going to take a little bit of a check. So it looks like Shelley with a bit of an issue on the way through here. So Shelley just having to jump off at 16k. He's got the gang behind he could get back into. I think Keith Richardson just holding the back with Thomas Cropper. Good to have Thomas on board. Thomas, another of our young talented riders coming across from Wales, regular on the off-road scene. Great to see him back and riding. Don't often get the chance to watch him in action these days, in real life, as the saying goes, or basically in person. So Shelley apparently has got a flat. I bet he hasn't. And if he had, he wouldn't admit to it. He's got a dropout. There we go. It's not going to be a flat. It's a dropout. So well done to Shelley. Repaired on. The question is he going to try and chase on? Because we're after the late join. So he's going to have some work to do. Let's try and run our way towards the back. Dropout is an online flat. It certainly is. It's part of the world of Zwift. Now, let's have a little look. I don't think we're going to see Mr. Charles. So here we go. So now just saying, great to see Thomas Cropper on that. Wayne Barr at the moment, just drifting off the back of that gang. And with 100 riders, remember, of course, you can't see the back or the front. Now, Shelley, you're going to have to let us know if you're going to make your way back in. I think you're going to have missed the cut-off for that late join, unfortunately. That's one of the reasons we keep it in there, folks. If you have a problem in the first half hour, you can get back in. And let's face it, Russ rarely gives the go that early. Right, here we go. Whew. Shelley, that's a big ass now. Okay, so we're at 29 minutes, guys. We've got 30 seconds, 34 seconds back to Shelley Charles, one of our key supporters. Question is, can we get enough people back for Shelley? Not sure it's going to be possible. Let's see what happens. So it looks like Mr. Crease just about 10 seconds back now. Let's have a little look. Who's going to have a drop back? Looks like Matt Crease has gone back a little bit. Oh, Neil from the Crosscast going back. Oh, and Jimmy Allen. Here we go. Hero roll coming up. Jimmy Allen, legend. Crosscast Neil, legend. Gonna steadily work my way through everybody, one way or another. Alex Calejo, legend. Who else is going back? Go with somebody else. Keith Richardson, legend. Leon Calloway, another legend. Craig Herring, definite legend. Wayne Barr, full-time legend. Edie Dench, another legend. Ryan Williams, true legend. Gonna run out of voice. Simon Runnett, definite legend. Here we go. Right, now, let's see if we can get everybody back in and up to speed. You can see the gang have just waited now. This is going to be a bit of a pull. So let's jump in with Craig, because he's on the back. Now, this is where the train's going. You can hear the train in the background. They've got a motor up now because they're aiming to pull everybody back in. Everyone came back in a long line, and you can just see the train behind the gang. They're going to have to try and pull themselves back up. Nice big group. This should form here to get themselves back up with the main pack up at the front, which are going steady. And as you can see, look at this. We've still got a couple of people just chasing at the back of this pack here. So it's like license working hard. And you can see the gang here. If you're not in, you're going to be in trouble here. So it looks like Simon Runnett and Wayne Barr have got to make a bit of a move here. You've got to sprint, guys. You need to get into this train. It is leaving the station. Time to pick up the pace and get back on board here. You don't want to get distance, but look at the volume of riders that have come back here. I'm going to try and use the drone because it gives us a really good indication of just how far back everybody is. You can just see they're all starting to come back together again as they come in and through. Mason is already in. We're just going to run our way back down the group because I think Simon just at the back here looks like just tucked on to the back of the group. Alex Galeo just got to put a little bit of a dig in, and as we see, all making the way in around and through. So well done, gang. Absolutely superb stuff as ever. So look at that. Don't believe everything you read on the screen. Believe this. Believe me, it's definitely not the case. Definitely never believe what you see on a message board. Well, look at that. Short work of that. I thought that would fill us nicely in about 15-20 minutes worth of commentary there. You lot just decimated me in free commentary there and just left everything in. Dear me. Mr. Mason, you running on 28 and 32s, really? Yep, everybody's back on board. It's all done and dusted, mate. I thought that would just be like real easy stuff. I don't know. Absolute revelation on Surrey Rose, I bet. Definitely. Sadly, my frame will only take 25 in 4 seasons. Won't take 28. Emma the Boss has all run 20. Well, they've run up to about 45 to be honest, because they're cross frames, so much easier. So let's now that gang's back together again. Let's just take a look at these riders. So it's Carl Johnson and Miss Cookie. They're all nicely together. We're at 38 minutes, 20k in. We're only at 20k for the red. They're not all that far behind the gang in front of 23, so they've rattled on well. That issue there, that tech issue, just taking time. So let's see. We're going to get a little bit of a squeeze. We've had our second trigger point. So if you're on the back, Ollie, Saxton, Ryan Williams, guys, you might want to squeeze into the bunch. I know you're more than capable. What happens on the third? Well, that's pretty obvious, Mr. Williams. If you haven't learnt it by now, count is clearly not your strong point. So, here we go. Just dealing with Saxton at the moment. This is the gang just squeezing in, and looks like they're all nicely in the pack together here. Just keeping an eye on anybody who's just drifting around the back. Ryan Williams just in and around the back. So, I'm not sure whether we're going to see Russ just ramp it up a little bit, just getting a bit of a squeeze on here. The front's rolling nicely at about 2.5 here. Mason just squeezing his way up to the front. So, we are currently not at the trigger point. Nobody has said the magic words. There is only one variation on that. Kai Hurst indeed, the boy can count, indeed. So here we are. Riders working well. Evans in here, Howlett in here, Jono's on board, Beefy's in here, Gidley, Alex Gidley on board as well. Charles, of course, we've seen just come back in. Gary also is in here. Simon Booth back with us. Can see Simon back in again. Simon in his traditional kit there. St Kilda Cycling Club kit. I do like it. It's a very nice traditional jersey there. So we haven't yet made the point where we get to 1.5 laps covered. That's as we go around the base of the lower, the southerly section. Just keeping an eye on the riders just at the back of the group here. All looks pretty much together. Mr. Williams just hanging out the back, just shooting the breeze, doing not a lot at the moment. So let's see where we are. We're at 25k at the moment, and remember, of course, that we have 55k today. I'm going to be heading for some more OTE goodness on the way through, that's for sure. So definitely you need to fuel up for tonight's ride. It's going to be a reasonable duration tonight as the pace starts to pick back up and again. And got to say a massive thank you to Annie at OTE. OTE, of course, are beacon sponsors, and basically that means that they are the company who are looking after our riders at the moment. So Colin Bell letting on, just seeing how letting on and telling us just how much weight you put on holiday. I'm not going to publicly say that for you, Colin. Believe me, that would be very, very mean of me. That's definitely not happening. Easy on the drive, says Russ. Love it. So it's like Carl Johnson and Miss Cookie tucking along nicely. And then it's like Mr. Thorpe, Ruddyman on the back here. Crease, Stevens, Cleo. There's something like Killingsworth on here. Mike's going to be our Red Beacon on Thursday. In fact, let's have a little look. So Mike, our Red Beacon on Thursday. Mike, you'll love the picture I've got for your Red Beacon graphics. Already done the show graphics for Thursday. Did a marathon session this morning on the graphics as well. So good to see Mike on here. Mike, our Red Beacon on next Thursday. And Mike, one of our regulars on the Donny Chaingang. We're just going to see if we can just keep a track of him as he comes in and through. Easier said than done. We're on our way through here. So good to see that he's nicely moving in, and we're going to start heading in towards the turn. You can see us coming around that right hand, so we're going to take the next left. There we go. Hope the chain gang goes the right way. So around and going, just in with Mike Killingsworth at the moment, taking that left hand turn, coming in and around the corner here as they head in and through. So at the moment, looking good. Come around at that left-hand turn, going to be sweeping around the bend once again. So some great shots here on Zwift as we roll our way around the side here of this fantastic structure. Basically our turnaround point at the south side. That basically means that we are now essentially at the halfway point, 27.5k into a 55 55k route, 55k route in total. So our riders nicely making the way in and around. Quick reminder for everybody, remember we finished at the Rock Arch, not the Blue Line. That gives you a little bit of warm down on the way through. The Chaingang rolling nicely in and round. No silly quick times anyway. So you just see our two beacons exchanging places there, and the yellow and red beacons heading in opposite directions on the course, obviously, as our red beacon makes its way towards that southern turning point in and round. Let's dive on down. Been sitting with Mike for a little while. Let's just get a little bit of the admin done backstage, just to make sure everything is rolling well behind the scenes as well as in front of it. Always really handy to do. It's going to jump in with Sam Emsley at the moment. Sam just rolling around the back. Definitely one of our comfy riders at this kind of pace has come in and through. I'm loving the fact that everybody is super quiet. Everybody poised and ready. Everybody waiting for that signal from the bear. Question's going to be, can anyone stay with him? Loving the message board. If you jump on the message board and you're putting a comment on Facebook or on YouTube, if in doubt, stick your name in there somehow. Because then that means that we can pick them all up on our restreaming service, so it's Restream.io, or you can of course register with and link Restream to your Facebook account, or if you're on Facebook or similar, or on YouTube account, it just means that we get to see who it is who's putting it in there. But if you're putting a comment down on any of the streams that are coming out, if in doubt, stick your name on it, who's saying what, then we can actually work out who it is. For example, Tom Lindley's, Tom Lindley, it's nice and simple, but because he's in there. But if you haven't got your actual name on there, it doesn't always show. It might just say, for example, Facebook user. Apparently we've got 101. I've got 100 on my screen. It's fake news. Let's have a look. it's fake news. We've got 100 on our screens at the moment. That's always key. So here we go. Got Mr. Rowan Barker, the team riding well. Si Wilson in there. Question's going to be who is going to motor. Tom Hampton in the gang. Good to see Miss Cookie and Carl Johnson still motoring away. So a nice tempo in there. You're seeing a few bodies just start to maybe pay the price here. So Jim Flynn just starting to go pop. Let's have a look. Neil, if yours is saying 101 on there rather than 100 on ours, it may well be that somebody is on a very spurious platform or a similar platform to you. So if you're watching on an Apple, for example, you can get some very random numbers thrown up on there. We roll on a PC system, Windows-based system, and that basically means that it does keep a check of how many's on, but it doesn't always recognise everybody, and that is one of the reasons why we ask people to register for the ride, because we can't always see everybody who's actually on. There's a few people on the way through. So if you have, for example, mismatched generations of updates, so if you haven't got an update on, say, your iPhone, but you have on your iPad, or if you've got a Mac and that's on one generation of update and the iPhone isn't, or if you're on a PC system and an iPhone, which is even more entertaining, then if they're on different levels, different stages of update, quite often it won't show you to other people, particularly certain combinations. So just make life very interesting indeed, as you can see on the screens. 100 on here. The wonders of glitches and multiple different systems all being used. Let's give people a panic, shall we? Let's sit on top of Russ, because this always worries people. It's always entertaining when we do this. And no, I haven't got a message. No, I don't know what's going on. I just thought I might as well better show him for a little while, hadn't I? 104 beats a minute. At least his fans will have kicked in. Let's see if it's going to be the case, if he's going to stay that way as we drop in over the pack. Looking pretty good at the moment. Let's looking forward. Let's take a little bit of a look back. Confirming the finish as usual is on the return to the arches on the way out round the top loop and back in again. You've still got a long way to go to get to your 50, just shy of your 55 kilometres. If in doubt, read the email. If you're a member of the DCG gang, it takes me hours to write the damn thing. Check your email. You got mail. Can't do it in any of the voice because the voice is croaky today. Could be entertaining sitting up somewhere trying to chase a dog on the mountain bike in about 2 hours time. If you're down, pretend it's on the first pass. Yeah, you're not wrong. And you've still got 4 goes through the arch. 1 on the way up, 1 on the way down, 1 on the way up, and then 1 on the way back into the finish. So 4 more times through the arch yet. Loving Kai's answer. Weatherbrood sprint by this. Excellent. Mr. Garfor. Oh, the uphill sprint. Yes, love it. If only. Not on this course. I'm sure the sprint times that we just seen on the Fuego flats won't be like that for much longer. Quite peaceful at the back, isn't it? So it looks like a few bodies just distance. Guys, get yourselves together as a group. Mr. Lee, jump in with... So Dave, jump in. You got Jim Flynn about to hit you on your heel here. So you got Jim Flynn coming through. Tickers, you're not going to be long before you see Jim. It's about 17 seconds between you guys. Then Mr. Barnard, Mark Barnard, not all that far behind you, bud. Have a look in your rearview mirrors. You've got Tickers at about 7 seconds. Jim Flynn at about 25. You guys get together. I think you've got a good pack there. That would be a team of 3 team time trial. Looks like Lee just getting a little bit of a kick. May well have been a bit of an issue tech-wise there, but on a Tron bike, so clearly done plenty of climbing to get to that point. So I can see another pack forming. So we've got a red beacon group at the back here. So Carl Johnson, as we approach the hour Miss Cookie having to leave it now. Carl is going to be on a charge to chase after Lee Flynn and Tickhill, along with Barnard. That's the group that he's going for here. So Carl's got a big ass there. It's going to be about 5.5 to 6 minutes, Carl. Good luck, buddy. We're going to keep an eye on that on the way through. Meanwhile, just riding in with Sammy Stewart. Sammy, of course, riding for the Cans Basso team. Interesting, we just saw Dale Williams just using up a ghost on the way through there. Not wanting to take that into the finish. It's really important that you get the right kind of power up on your run into the finish here. And that's one of the reasons we introduce more, because it means that not everybody's going to get them. And it could be that one of the big powerhouses on a sprint stage doesn't get what they need. And the go, go, go is gone. You can see it's been lit up. The sparks coming from Russ's socks there. And look at that. This is the moment when we knew it was going to get interesting. And you've got to push now if you want to be in that group. You've got to be in it to win it. It's not a race, but it sure does seem like it. So here we go. The riders push in underneath the line. We have over 1 lap. We have 1 lap plus this turn to do. So here we go. Is this group, what's this group going to look like? What's the composition going to be? Who's going to make the cut? Who isn't? Already seeing the gaps opening up behind these riders. We're going to ride in with Sammy Stewart, somebody who we know has got more than enough ability to be able to stay in with this group. Let's see who's going to be in there. Remember, if you do get distance, make sure you enjoy that ride. Now, just seeing somebody disappear off with a ghost up at the front of that group. Interesting tactics. Now we're going to go to the left here. We've got the full U-turn to do before we do our run into our finish here today. So here we go. Around this turn we go. And going to be interesting to see who's going to be able to push hard enough to break the elastic. Big pack formed here after that initial surge. And then the go, go, go went. And looks like John Garfoot and co just about squeezing into it. Can they make this? Come on, guys. Last big push here. This is going to be key. We've got 4 riders here. So we've got Johnny Lightfoot in here. Johnny Two Dogs, that is. We've got Ruddyman. We've got Ryan Parker. We've got Garfoot. We've got Gibbo making the group here. Now, this could coalesce into being group number 2. You can just see up in front. That's going to be a group number 1. Group number 2 is swelling as riders join it from behind at the moment. It's gone from 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 riders. It has the potential to be 15 to 30 riders strong, depending on how many people in those groups behind can make it into the pack. Now, let's see where they're going to get to. This is our group here now. Mike Selkard, interestingly, just being a distance by that surge there. He's got some strong riders behind him. I mean, Alex Gidley, super strong rider Gidley. Will he be able to make it? Ambler's in there, Bayliss is in there, Wallace immediately behind. And you can see this is the run towards the finish. So when they hit the line this time around, it will be 1 lap to go for them. When they hit the line this time, the yellow beacon about to hit. 1 full lap to go now. So in he goes, the yellow beacon going through that. So 1 full lap to go. Gibbo and co also heading that direction. Remember, this is a key here today. You've got to be able to push on. You've got to be able to squeeze for 1 whole lap left. Big ask today here on the Chaingang. We're at 58 minutes now. Everybody's setting PBs on the way through that, and I am not surprised. The question is, what is going to happen at the front? Are we going to see this be a mass sprint? Looks like we've already got 1 attacker on the front here today, trying to go clear. I'm just going to try and get myself right up to the front. Easier said than done today. And I think Ryan Williams it is who is already starting to try and rip this up. It is Williams who is off the front. And looks like he's not been able to make that stick. The chase is on behind. And Williams, I think, is likely to get caught back here. Vin Donahoe doing the work here. So it is Ryan Williams who's led that little attack out there. He won't want that group behind to come on. And this is the leading group. This is a big pack of riders. We've got just under 1 lap to go from this group back. The chasers just coming out from underneath the rock arch gives you an indication of the distance that has been opened up, but the back of this pack is under serious pressure. It's starting to expel riders at the back. Now let's take a little bit of a look. Looks like Owen Davis, John Doe just having to fight here. Paul Mallin now distance. Bar in trouble here. He's got a group around him. Johnny Two Dogs has made it run him, and this is the group we were watching. Let's take a little bit of a look back. They've got a gap. Stick Cannons at 5 seconds. So this group of Cannons is at 5 seconds. Matt Winston is in here. Come on, Matt, use those kilos, make them count. That's not the Matt Winston we know. He's definitely been in the team car too long. Flipping it, mate. Did you go to every drive-through on the way through that avatar of yours? You ain't that heavy duty in real life. I know you're not. Surely. Maybe it's anti-weight doping going on here. So here we are. This is going to be very interesting. Group 1 on the road. The rest of the groups are starting to split a little bit further down the road. You can see Langmead now being distanced as we come in. Our red beacon goes off in the opposite direction there. Heading out and away. We're in with Turner at the moment. And at the moment in with Andy Turner in this group, but this is a select group of riders who are making the way in and through. And Rich Langmead, the latest rider to have been expelled from that group. I think Seeley is also the same here. So the Terminator is in danger of being terminated here as she's been distanced out, doing 4 watts per kilo here. But looks like the power and the pace has dropped to Lee Allen has got Owen Davis. Wayne Barr's group is looking to snaffle them up, to pick them up. This is still not a huge group at this stage. And so we take a look into that pack behind the chasing group, and not all that far behind. It's about 8 seconds back to our next group. Then we're going to be going back, and it's going to be probably Beefy, who's currently waiting for reinforcements from behind at the moment. But those groups are shattered all over the road here. And this one of our bigger chasing groups at the moment. Bayliss in here, Emily Sika, Ennis, Mike Salkeld, Matt Winston's group just up the way. We're just going to take a little bit of a run up. Our next group, this is going to effectively be, I think, group number 2. This is the main group, but plenty of people have been shelled out as we come in through the Oasis, and now it looks like more pressure being applied on the front. And this time around, I think that's going to be Dale Williams, who's just going clear. He's got Booth on his heels, going to try and get up there. So here we go. So it looks like Jones it is who's got the gap at the minute. Let's take a little bit of a check here. Bevan Jones with the gap. So Bevan's gone. Now, interestingly, looks like the teammates talking to each other. So Bevan has the gap. I think it went up the road. Mates don't chase mates. Too right, Dale. You're not wrong. So Bevan, at the moment, just up the road, got the gap. He's got 6 seconds. What are they doing behind? Are they looking at each other? Well, it looks like there's no concerted chase. And now Simon Runnett starts to move up to the front here. Are we going to see Runnett, Jono Pritchard start to make the action here, make the running? Look at Simon Runnett's cadence here. He's way over the 100 revs. Just easy enough a little bit to let somebody else come in and through. That's in the shape of Craig Herring and Adi Dench, I think, leading this charge. It's Herring, though, who is chasing faster than a trawling across the ocean bottom, trying to catch up and drag and catch the rider in front. But at the moment, Herring is motoring. I haven't had any fish jokes for a while. So will the little tiddler out the front be caught by the big shoal behind? Certainly looks like that's the case, and the gang are working well together here. Trevor Crehan in this pack as well. Pete Scriven in here from the herd as well. So let's see who's going to go this time round. Push now from Booth on the front here. So jumping in with Simon this time, who's got a little bit of a gap, 5.3. Another rider starting to go off the front here, just keeping that pace tough for everybody behind it. Now he eases back, I think, knowing that he's not got a gap, not broken it up too much on the way through. Simon Booth, one of the hard men of riding, and at the moment our rider's heading towards that southerly turn. Remember, we're heading up almost to 55k today. Now, did Kai make it over the climb? Does Kai ever make it over the climb? On the way through. So keep a check at the moment. So Scriven working well in here. Wilson in this pack. Still a huge pack of riders. Looks like Neil from the Cross Cascade. A great workout prior to heading to the 3 peaks at the weekend. Just seeing Lee Allen just distance now. Langmead distance. Tracy Seeley, I think, is going to see this gang come together. There's a good group behind here. They need to get themselves together here, guys. So Tracy, Rich, Owen, Lee, Gibbo, Wayne Barr. This gang could become a really good force to be reckoned with here. Chasing on Dick Samuel is just going to be disappearing on the back. So here we go. The big pack at the moment, still containing Matt Chris, who isn't really on a trike. Just looks like it, folks. Just looks like it. So the gang are moving well up on the front, the chasing pack behind. So Group 1 currently clear of Group 2. Currently by 1 minute 40 seconds. 1 minute 40 back to this group. So here we go, you can just see this group forming together. Langmead and Seeley waiting, so Tracy Seeley and Rich Langmead waiting to get this group just to give it a little bit more firepower now. That is a great group in there. Let's get that helicopter just up above them. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 riders I make it in there. My maths are always suspect at the best of times, but it looks to be like 12 riders in group number 2. Sandwiched in between Group 2 and Group 1, Dick Samuel. Currently 40 seconds up on this group. I think he's a likely target for them. So Dick Samuel currently 40 seconds up on this group. The riders a little bit further back. The next group back, well, that is a group at 18 seconds with Chris Kahneman here. So this is going to be a group number 3 on the road at the moment. So group number 3 is around Chris Canham. Group number 4, well, that is going to be the Andy Hawes group, I think, here, or whole 2 of them. So Andy, you warrant a group on your own almost. And then group 5, I think, is going to be heading somewhere around Beefy. But these groups need to make sure they know what they're doing. And I love the fact that Russ says, don't take the sprinters to the line. Ugh. Russ, you're a sprinter. You always have been. Surely you want towing to the line. I think they just want people just to make it nice and hard. Come on, I know Russ really wants it just to be dead exciting, which is exactly what I'm after. So let's see how we go. Don't tow big sprinters to the line. You are just asking for it. Work with your mates. Talk to each other. Get 2 or 3 of you together. Don't just drift off the front. Give it a massive kick. And they go clear. Now, here we go. Next rider on the front. That looks like Williams to me. Actually, no, yep. It is going to be Ryan Williams who's gone for it here. Now, can Ryan break clear? Can anybody get across now? Looks like Mason and Downing are going to try and get across here. Now, that is going to be an interesting group if they can get across and get clear, because that's a big pack. They're towing a lot of passengers behind, but Williams needs a few people. It's like about 5 riders just starting to push to get into that group. 5 or 6, and now the pressure's gone on. This is what's going to make those sprinters' legs hurt. People just attacking, getting a little bit of distance. The more people do this, the harder it will be for everyone else. Now, let's have a look. So, Ryan Williams at the moment. No relation to Dale Williams, by the way, just so you know. Not that I know of, anyway. Let me know if I'm wrong. On the way through, and still this group not able to work fast enough to break clean. Saw the group coming in the second in the opposite direction. That is, I think, a group number 3 on the road, 2 or 3 on the road, just coming the opposite direction there. But it's group going to be number 4. People are on this group, just going past our riders. And you can just see a little bit of a split that's occurred in there. Split occurring, not sticking though. And I think if the front group ease off too much, they're going to find riders are going to come back in again. If we pull our drone up here and take a look back, you can see pretty much everybody is going to make contact once again. This requires a quicker turnover, guys. If you're attacking and counter-attacking here on the Chaingang, I think you need another. Now, people just going for the attack is going to be Ryan Williams, who's got the gap again now. Is he going to drag a few more people clear? This is the time to go. Another move here could see some of our really good riders break clear. Remember, it is possible to solo into victory here if you're good enough, but better to have a small group of people. Now, one becomes two very strong riders. It's Ryan Williams and Rob Varty. The question is, who can get across that gap? Looks like Neil from the Crosscaster is dragging them back slowly at the moment. And I think that is going to be telling. So looks like that group just coming back now. Who's going across very quickly? Hudson goes. Whoa, a classic counter attack from Hudson there. Oh, that's what we want to see. Nice one. So look at that. Hudson putting a proper dig there. He waited for it to start to come back together. And as it did, he used the drafting of the riders in the lead who were pulled back. So he had the draft, not just of the bunch, but then the riders individually in front to enable him to catapult clear. He's got 6 seconds here on the riders behind, and they are going to have to chase. Now, Hudson is a fast rider, National Series rider, giving it some beans. Lindley, stop throwing your teddy out the pram. So here we go. This is Hudson on his way down here. Everybody would join early as they can. Not everyone has the privilege of being able to do so. Some people not getting in, some people having work to do. Let's see. So, let's see. He's a lightweight. It is Harry Hudson off the front. He's quite light, Harry, it has to be said. So, Harry Hudson at the moment up in front of this group. He's got the gap, still sitting at about 7 seconds. Let's take a little bit of a look behind him. They're still not organised. Thomas Crapper. Thomas, mate, you are on a ride here. He's absolutely up with this front group. Great to see that at the moment. So we're going to be heading down to the gorge into that turnaround very quickly. And that looks to me like there's going to be some company soon. It's breaking again now. Harry, hang on, mate, because here they come. Jimmy Allen is on his way. The one and only Wolf has decided it's time to give his claws a little bit of a sharpen. He goes in through, and I think Hudson's going to have made this. Who's he going to be joined by? Ryan Williams and Rob Varty are coming. Well, now, if these four kick again now, they could go clear. This could be very, very difficult for the group behind. Let's see if Hudson has shot all of his bolts out. Has he got any ammunition left in the magazine? I'm not sure he has, because Varty and co need to kick on here. This is where, if they can get together, Williams, Varty, along with Allen and Hudson, that would be a very strong foursome. But look at this, they're coming back on. What it is doing, irrespective of whether they stay away or not, is destroying the back of that group. There are not many great legs behind there now. I think we're going to see Bevan Jones on the attack. He said, wait about 5 minutes. Well, it's been about 5 minutes. Now he goes over the top again. He went at 10 watts per kilo. He's got another gap here. And it's only so long people are going to be able to pull this back. I think Varty is going to be trying to go. But he's done a lot of the work in getting people back. And Varty's watts per kilo just dropping down through the floor there, down to about 2.5. So now Bevan Jones on the attack. Ron Dubash, Dr. D's legs just exploded into a mess of lactic acid, I think. A little bit further back, who has got the pace? There's a good-sized group still chasing here. A little bit further behind this pack, you can see this is the debris that's been deposited out of the back of the main pack here. So, Cy Wilson, it's going to be Neil Moore, McClark, Dr. D, Sadler's in this group. Looks like McCarthy can't hold on. Childs has gone. Van Rye's gone. Hagger's gone. Forbes gone. Crean's gone. Hollowell's gone. This is the damage that's being done by the riders on the front. They are still all chasing the very front of that pack. And the very front of it is still held by Bevan Jones now behind that group that's come back together again. It takes constant attacking on this course to break these groups. They are whittling it down time and time and time again. The question is, as this group starts to come back together again, how many are going to be sat in this group? We'll try and get you a decent, a reasonably accurate number, about 33 riders in fact together. So a third of the bunch is in contention. A third of the gang still in contention. That gives you a clear indication. 33 riders in the leading group at the moment. A third of the gang is still left fighting it out as we hit the 50k to go marker very shortly. Remember, we're on 55k on the clock, so today it should get us through the archway, round the turn and back into it. At the moment, this is what is left. And I mean what is left of the bunch, 33 riders. Now, Vin Donahoe just rolls his way out to the front of this group. Neil from the Crosscast follows. Then Rob Varty starts to go. Varty putting in a decent dig here. Are they going to pull a little bit of a gap out here? So Neil from the Crosscast, Neil from Gritty, who's on the front at the moment, putting in a final dig here before he gets to the point. He's heading off to the Three Peaks final leg tuner from him. Remember, Three Peaks on Sunday, the legendary race from the Yorkshire Dales are going to be heading for its next instalment. Can't wait to catch up. If you want to preview that, don't forget, of course, to download the Crosscast. And whilst you're on there, don't forget, we do all that freebie. It's another one of those wonderful things that we do just because we love doing it. We do have some costs in there, so please, guys, if you want to buy us coffee on that, so go to buy me a coffee. And stick in their Crosscast on there. Now, Neil, I think your legs just went bang. Went off the front and just got off the back. So it looks like Neil now retiring gracefully off the back of that group. Oh no, he's going to push on maybe. Is he going to get himself back in? Not sure he can. I think it was the squeeze to see if he can. He's got to 6 watts per kilo. That I might leave him to suffer in silence, to be honest, because that's a bit mean to focus in on him as he's trying to get back onto the group after dropping right the way through. So a little bit of a false truce at the front at the moment, and now Crease is going for it. This not something you see every day on the Chaingang, aided of course by the fact that we don't have that wonderful changeover. It should mean that on the very front, if I can get there in time, we're going to see Matt Crease. So the Chaingang being led out by the hand cycle here, great to see. Scriven now comes in over the top. Dobson goes, but it is going to be Ryan who's gone again. This youngster, he's irrepressible at the moment. Nobody can keep him down for long. He keeps getting himself back up once again. So at the moment, this is the man who's going to come in underneath the rock arch and head out around the loop. Let's see if there's anything there. So great move off the front. He's got 4 seconds. Can he make this stick? He's got to go. This is a good distance to go now. Remember, we haven't got far. He's got to go under the gantry, round the loop and back again. I think he's just about going to make it in distance. 5 seconds now, the gap. Are they watching each other? They are. There's no big numbers coming. Biggest number I can see is about 5 watts per kilo behind. Ryan's on 6.5. Now Pritchard goes up to 6.1. Can he start to pull it back? He's not getting any assistance though. Everybody around Pritchard is holding 3 to 4 watts per kilo. Williams takes a personal best through here. Not a surprise at all. Is he going to be able to pull this off? He's got to just go round that loop. He could well do this as he goes through. And look at the number of personal best times coming. He's absolutely raining confetti out here as we see Ryan on his way through. This is the gap he's got. Currently sitting at 8 seconds from our race leader, Ryan Williams, who is clear. Nobody behind is doing enough. It's really simple. 4 watts per kilo doesn't cut it. 3 watts per kilo doesn't cut it. Even 5 watts per kilo will not cut it, because at the moment Ryan Williams is doing 6 watts per kilo. Remember, this is a national standard rider. A rider who can race with the best in the country on the National Series. And at the moment, it looks to me, if we take our helicopter up, he's got this straight away on the way through here. Here he comes. So Ryan Williams at the moment has the gap now behind. Seen a little bit of a kick from A.D. Dench here. Dench has pushed on. He's gone up to 5.5 watts per kilo. He's now, for the first time we saw him go over the watts per kilo coming from Williams. But this group are just giving away way too much time. It's still 8 seconds. Williams is around that far side. He's gone past the T-junction. He's trying to stretch this out. He's going to come in. He's going to be on 500 meters to go when he comes in to the orange banner on the right-hand side. So we're going to jump in with him. We're going to get him to stay in with the cam here as the chase starts to hot up. We're seeing some 11 watts per kilo. Williams now with 6 seconds, 5 seconds back to Varty. 500 meters to go as he went over that flashing orange light. Varty is coming. Williams has got a kick. Come on, Ryan. He put in the brave move. He went for it. They're coming up behind him. Mason has got a massive turn of speed coming. Mason could roll him here. We're in with Mason. He goes over the top. It's heartbreak for Ryan Williams. Is Mason going to make this? He kicks over the top, and it looks to me like the fat cyclist is using that mass to huge effect. It's going to be Mason who takes it. Great ride. Mason in 1. Dale Williams in 2. Hudson in 3. Lindley in 4. Then it's going to be Allen in 5. Saxton in 6. Ryan Williams in 7. And Osman. Beyond that, guys, you're going to have to hope. Fastest of our female riders. That is going to be Sammy Stewart. Taking away Fago Flats jersey as well on the way. No surprises there. And that was brilliant stuff by our riders. So our fastest female rider, it is Sammy Stewart. No surprises there. The professional from the squad doing the business of fastest time from the guys. It was our leader coming in now. You can just see the riders on the way back out again. Now we are just going to try and work our way back to the right riders here. This is not all that easy. It's easier said than done. It has to be said here. So we are going to try and make our way in and over here. So whoever has just gone through, Lee, you're going the wrong way, mate. So this is going to be our next riders coming into the lane. So Johnny Two Dogs and Lee Allen going the opposite direction. We are looking to see who's going the right way here. Easier said than done. So here we go. These guys are definitely coming into the finish. Got to keep the track up on the screen above. Only way we can do this. So this is for the sprint here today. You can just see Mick Clark here is just seeing them at sprint up. Morn is going over the top, so it's going to be Morn who gets it from Steve Wilson. Then it's going to be Rowan Dubash and Mick Clark. I think Neil, after his legs popped, going in towards line, just gets rolled there by Sadler. And then it's going to be Crease coming in and through, followed by Stevens. Stevens going to go over the top, I think. So Craig Herring dropped his chain on the way through. That is unpleasant. He's dropped it off the smallest sprocket. Turner coming through, Stevens coming through. Looking for our next group coming in the opposite direction. So just going to be tracking our way up the course. So apologies if you're in. It's always a tricky one, this when people are around the loop. So Craig Herring on his way in towards the finish. I think Tom Hagger. Tom, keep going, mate. Tom, what are you doing? Don't stop. Don't stop. Right, Craig Herring should be our next rider to finish. Heading his way in to the finish. So Craig has had a bit of a technical issue. He has had a chain come off the smallest sprocket down into the side of the frame. Dropped his chain at 53 kilometers an hour. I don't think there's going to be much frame left, mate. I wish I could quickly pop this up onto the screens. That ain't coming out in a hurry. No wonder he had to go pull it out. So here we go. Craig Herring in for a sprint into the finish. He's going to get himself into the line. He's going to be ahead of the chasing pack. They are currently sitting at about 15 seconds or so behind him. They're coming into the sprint. Craig Herring is going to come in and across the line clear. The sprint has unfolded behind him here, and it looks like this is the sprint from the group behind. There is at least one rider in front. It's going to be Gibbo, who's just in screen. So Gibbo leading out. Owen Davis is sitting immediately behind him. So it's going to be Gibbo of this group in that Leclerc kit. He's going to just roll this. It looks like he's made his way over the line. He does. Then it's going to be Davis. Then it's going to be Garfoot, Ruddyman, Malin, Langme going in and through. Looks like Tracy Seeley, second of our female riders here today, unless I'm much mistaken, which is very easy. And Holwell coming in with Ryan Parker as well. Dixon Moore in and over the line. Going back to our next riders, it should be from this group. Okay, let's try and get as many of our riders in here that we've got in here. So we've got Chris Cannon, we've got Steve Cannon. We have also got Edmonds, Morley, Ennis in here. We're going to have Wallace in this as well. We're in with Purple running at the moment, who we know has got a pretty big monster sprint, but it looks like Emily Seeker Ennis already starting to wind it up on the front of 5 watts per kilo, but we're looking for some big numbers now. It should come from Matt Winston. He's a rider who's got plenty of power at the moment. He's gone for an early sprint. He's getting everything out at the moment. Look at him burying himself here. So Matt Winston on the front. Ambler is coming behind him though, and Winston might have timed this wrong. If he was his DS, he'd be shouting at him. He needs another kick here. Ambler's going to go over the top. He has done, so Ambler is going to take this. Ambler takes it, and I think Winston just pops at the line there by Cannon. Then it's Wallace, Morley, Cannon, Ronnie coming in and through. Edmonds comes through. Emily Seeker, Harris in and through the line. Wow, another fast ride in. Bailey's going to be the next rider, I think, heading in towards the line here. And I think Bailey's without any riders in and around. So our next rider due to be Chris Bayliss. So Chris, our next rider, heading in for the finish. So Bayliss at the moment, I think, probably followed by Mark Grant, Andy Hawes, Mark Woodward gang heading in to the line behind him. We're just seeing them actually go in the opposite direction. And I think they're our next riders who are out on course. So got a little bit of a gap. So Chris Bayliss coming in and through. Nice ride, Chris. Well done. So Chris in and through in that Prudential Ride London jersey. And if we jump across, one of the men who makes the ride happen here is, of course, Andy Hawes. So Hawesy in our next group. Could be an interesting sprint this. Andy's got a good kick on him. So has Woodward. So has Grant. All 3 riders here have got decent kicks on them. Grant's got a real fast kick. So has Andy. Woodward has as well. Remember, we have 1 loop left to do. Come on, Mark, get on those wheels. You've got 1 loop to go, and then around to the backside here. Andy Hawes at the moment leading this group out. He's got them on his wheel. Mark Grant coming back up onto the wheel. A little bit of a stop and a kick again. So remember, you've got to get in through the gantry once more. Now Grant goes over the top easy, so the other 2 should get the wheels here. So this is our next group. Behind them then we have I think Mark Barnard, and then it is going to be Sickers and Carl, the 2 riders behind. Carl not quite having made contact with everybody just yet, but well on his way, already about to hit that 50k marker. So whilst our riders will make the way in, we're just tracking with Andy Hawes. Quick reminder, guys, make sure you jump on, join the DCG gang if you can, always appreciated. Don't forget, of course, that is all made possible in our rewards for members of the gang, and that is because of the guys up there, and that is 1080 OTE, Gritty, Continental, Velaskin, Halo, and of course Nonnas. Discounts in the members email that goes out. Next members email going out on Thursday morning. In the meantime, don't forget, of course, there are lots of rides out on Zwift. Join, there is only one Donny Chaingang, and the DCG riding Tuesdays and Thursdays. Some more work being done behind the scenes for the WOW DCG. That's coming back in October, and that will run right the way through to March every single week from October to March on a Wednesday as well. So if you're one of our women please do jump on the Women's Only Wednesdays. Right, let's jump back in with our riders who are now well on the way in here. This is that final kick into the line. And it looks to me like Woodward has got a little bit of a stretch on them. So Woodward's gone early here. He's on the disc and the deep. The two behind have chosen a different tactic. They now start to sprint. Have they left it too late? They're very experienced riders. This could be a blanket finish here. And literally as they come to the line, Andy Hawes timing to perfection there. He goes in and over the line. Woodward behind, and then it was Grant. Great riding, guys, as you come in and through the line. Amazing stuff here today. Wow. Okay, so I am going to drop back because I think there are a limited number of riders on the course. Famous last words here, because we should have Mark Barnard, Tickers, and Carl. Carl is motoring to try and catch up with Tickers before he gets into the finish, so the two can go over together. Ahead of them, Barnard has the loop to do, so Barnard is on his way through, so great stuff here already underneath that gantry. So once he jumps under there, a few more bits of note taking. Remember, guys, sign up, make sure if you're joining a ride, 25 hours to 1 hour before, jump on nice and early. You know the score, get the code, jump on. When you get in there, we register all of our riders. It's really simple. It means that we know what's happened, who's done what, and where we can catch them on the gang. Also, things to remember. Join the gang. You don't need to do any of that registration malarkey. You can join for a month. You can join for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They'll take your kit right the way through to the end. We will be doing what is effectively a block period, because we had 8 months initially. We will be doing a 7th month block, which will start from October and run us to April on the DCG gang and the WoW DCG. So basically that block of riding, that will be covered by the next big block of the WoW, of the DCG gang block all season membership. That will happen, and that is going to come out, and that will happen. That price change will change as we run into October. So if you've been wondering, if you've been thinking, oh, I really want to go right the way over, make sure you jump on for that. We will have, of course, more riding this week. Thursday this week is the DCG gang. We're going to Volcano. We've got the Volcano climb after party. So essentially we do 3 laps around the bottom, relatively flat. Then we go piling into the Volcano on the last lap to finish up at the top of the Volcano. Always a great one, this. And it's very cagey. Really interested to see who wants to go where and when. And Russ, of course, controlling that ride as well. Mike Killingsworth. The intrepid Mike Killingsworth, the legend that is Mike Killingsworth, is Art Red Beacon. Special picture for Mike, deviating from my own personal rules for what we put up for the pictures for that, for a very special reason. That is going to be in the coverage coming out on Thursday. Don't forget, subscribe to either the YouTube channels, the Full Speed Events one, or the Downing Cycling one. Jump on the Facebook pages. If you are riding before that, don't hesitate to give us a shout. Put what you're doing out on Facebook. Get meeting up with the guys out in real life, out on the roads as well. Don't forget, of course, you can follow us on the social media channels as well. So don't forget to follow the Donny Chaingang Facebook group page. Make sure you give Russ a follow. All of his links on Fonzie and Russ Downing, you'll find them all over social media, let's face it. And of course you can catch up with me. That is Matt Fix Pain, and that is on Zwift, it's on Strava, it's on Facebook, and of course Full Speed Events. A massive thank you to the team behind the scenes. There are more than just me here making it all work throughout the course of the season. I just get to put the words to the action, and more action as our next rider approaches the line. Let's jump back in with them. So riding in with Mark Barnard at the moment, and as you can see, Mark currently on his way in that gantry. It's on his way towards him, and this is that final kick to go in and over the line. Nice deep wheels there on that Specialized, just started making his way in towards the finish. So here he comes. It's going to be Mark Barnard who's going to come in under the line. He's going to make his way in and through. Good riding, 71st out of the 100 riders that started, 71st in and over the line. So remember, of course, not everybody makes it to the finish, as testified by the numbers up on your screen. Let's have a look. We've got Tickers on his way in. Now, the pursuit is on behind him. The question is, has Carl Johnson got enough to catch him back? They aren't all that far from the line, to be fair. This is a bit of a big ask, because I think Tickers is on a bit of a mission here. So for those people who don't know Tickers, one of our riders, in fact, got at least one of our awards going up on to the Von top before now. Tickers from Sitwell CC, just kicking his way in around these turns. It looks good at the moment as he makes his way around this corner at the moment. Mark Tickle, or Tickers is known from Sitwell CC, and riding nicely. And I think it's not going to be long before he sees that gantry up in front of him as we just take a little bit of a scroll round. And the camera's really jumping when we get this close to people. And you can just see that Arch is on its way in towards him. So here we go, coming in, it is Mark Tickle. Tickers making his way in and through the line. Good riding, buddy. Well done, he's going to come in and through. That will be at 54.2. It's about an 800-metre run to the blue banner from which you get in and through the line. So Tickers in and underneath the gantry, and that leaves our red beacon. An amazing job done today by this man, by Carl Johnson. Carl, our red beacon, sterling work as ever, shepherding Miss Cookie along, and then of course carrying along the riders and trying to chase them back down again once his work was done there. Today particularly one of those really weird days where our red beacons basically get distanced early and very rarely see the front again. So thank you very much to Carl and all of our red beacons. A quick reminder, if you are watching, if you want to join in one of the best roles, it's Red Beacon. It's super rewarding. You get to look after the rest of the riders, so please don't hesitate to jump in, jump on the Facebook page, give Gail a shout. She is in charge of all of our Red Beacons. So we are going to leave Carl to his final meters. Don't forget, of course, support the people who support the Chain Gang. They're all over there, right the way over there. From 1080, from OTE, from Gritty, Nonners, Halo, Velaskin, Continental, that works. These guys, they make it happen. They reward the people who literally pay for your entertainment. It's that straightforward. You won't get it for free. So massive thank you to the guys who support the DCG gang. Don't forget to tune in on Thursday from me, Matt Payne, from us, from everybody on the Donny Chain Gang. Stay safe. We'll see you again soon.